She did not look as if she could have disguised her sex for years to undergo a knight's harsh training, and she certainly did not look as if she would excel at her training to the point where some, men who were qualified to judge such matters, would call her the finest squire in Tortall. She also did not look like the adopted heir of one of her realm's wealthiest noblemen. "I don't know if Sir Miles told you," Winfeld explained, "but I'm honored to serve his interests here in Berat. I bid you and your man welcome to the Wandering Bard." He nodded to the man-at-arms who supervised the stabling of the horses. "Whatever you wish, just let my folk know. Would the two of you like a cool drink to lay the dust?" "I'll see to the packs and the rooms," the man told them. "I know," he said quickly as his night mistress opened her mouth. "You're wanting a bath, hot water, soap, and soon." He grinned at Winfeld. "She's that finicky for a lass who's living on the road." Alanna shrugged. "What can I say? I like to be clean." "Thanks, Coram." "He's been with you long?" Winfeld asked as he showed her into the common room, indicated a seat, and sat down facing her. "Forever," Alanna replied. "Coram changed my diapers, and he never lets me forget it. He helped raise my twin brother and me." To a maid who'd come to ask what she'd like, Alanna said, "Fruit juice would be wonderful if you have it." The innkeeper smiled as the servant girl left. "The Wandering Bard has whatever may hit your fancy, Lady Alanna. How is your honoured father, if you don't mind my asking?" The maid returned with a pitcher and a tankard on a tray, presenting them to Alanna. Taking a swallow from her tankard, the knight sat back with a sigh. "He was fine when last I heard from him 2 months ago. Coram and I have been on the road for weeks. I've never been out of Tortall before, so we took our time. Marin doesn't seem much different." Winfeld grinned. "Nor should it. Tortall and Tuzain and Marin being cut from the same cloth. Things change east of here." Alanna saw a shadow cross her host's face. "Trouble?" "Just the sickness that comes on a land now and then," was the reply. "There's war in Sarain the last 18 months or so. Only a Saran could tell you what started it, or what'll finish it. But there," Winfeld added, seeing a chambermaid at the door. "Your rooms be ready along with your bath." The knight picked up her cat, who was playing with Winfeld's apron. "Come on, faithful," she groaned, settling him over her shoulder. "Let's get clean." A chill went through the innkeeper as he watched them go. Only now had he seen that the cat's eyes were not a proper shade of amber, green, or gray. They were as purple as Alanna's. Instinctively, he made the sign against evil. The bath was everything a worn and dirty knight could wish. Large enough to fit all of her and filled with hot water. She splashed contentedly, rinsing a week's grit from her hair. "Tongue and paws are all I need," Faithful commented. "Is that why you smell after a night in the woods?" demanded Alanna. Faithful ignored her, curling up on the bed. Alanna made a face at him and reached for the copper pitcher filled with rinse water. Sunlight hit its side, dazzling her. Her blinded vision held an image. A gem, blue-violet, the size of a silver noble piece, set into a disk of gold, its facets absorbing light, not reflecting it. Beyond it was snow, a blizzard's worth. The picture faded when she blinked. She knew there was no sense in worrying about it. Sooner or later she would find out what it meant. She'd had the vision before. In the meantime, her bath was getting cold. Coram knocked as she combed her hair. "I've eaten," he called through the door. "I'll find out where your scholar lives, then have a bit of enjoyment. Do us both a favor and stay out of trouble." "I can take care of myself," she reminded him. "That's what worries me." "Have fun," Alanna called as his footsteps retreated, thinking, "Why is he worried?" She rarely sought trouble. Tonight she planned to avoid it entirely. Downstairs, Faithful abandoned her for the kitchen. Alanna found a corner where she would have a good view of the rest of the common room. While the Wandering Bard seemed respectable, she'd been traveling long enough to know she could never be too prepared. Adjusting her sword, so she'd have room to draw it if necessary, she settled back to enjoy the meal. Winfeld came over after she finished. "If there's anything you want, anything at all, you've only to ask," he assured her, taking a chair at her invitation. "No service is too great for Miles of Olau's heir, not in a house of mine. He pays us well as his agents." A generous man, your father." Alanna smiled. "He's generous with everything." Remembering what Winfield had said earlier, she asked, "What's going on in Serain?" The innkeeper looked away. "She rips herself apart. The Khmeri tribes hunt lowlanders through the mountains, sometimes on the southern plain itself. The mountain-born come west in flocks, running from the fighting. The lowlanders are so busy slaying Khmer that they let all else go, even the harvest. Only when their belts could be tightened no more did the warlord bring in paid soldiers and send the lowlanders back to their farms. The refugees talk of little but hunger and killing. My wife's Saren. It breaks her heart, and no end in sight." He forced a smile and added, "Enough of such doom talk. What brings you here, my lady, if I can be so bold as to ask?" "We're looking for a scholar," Alanna explained. "Nahom Gendre." "Another friend of your father's. He's well thought of, is Master Gendre." "I need him to translate something." Alanna reached inside her tunic to draw out a leather envelope. Carefully she opened it and unfolded its contents. A map of the eastern lands and the inland sea, charred at the left and top edges. Only natural landmarks, rivers and mountain ranges were shown. A tiny star marked a spot in the roof of the world, the great mountain range that cuts off the eastern lands from the rest of their world. Silvery runes, the writing that brought her to Marn for a translation, formed a column on the right side. "This looks like the Old One's writing," she explained. "Miles says the best translator is Nahom Gendre of Berat." Winfield touched the charred edges. "How did this happen, my lady? Do you know?" Alanna ran her fingers over the map. "You know Coram and I have been living with the Bajir." Winfield nodded. "Our headman, Halif Saif, was worried about a friend of his, a shaman living near Lake Tirigan. Coram and I went to see her." She drew a breath. "Her village was having a bad winter, what with famine and cold. A wandering priest had convinced the people that if they purified themselves, if they killed their sorceress, his god would put food in their storehouses. I've seen things like it. Folks aren't sensible when they're hungry. Coram and I got there as they started to burn her. We stopped it and got her away, but she was hurt too badly for me to fix." In answer to his questioning look, she explained, "I know some healing magic. Anyway, she died. The map was all she had. She asked us to take it back to Halif Saif." "And he sent it to Master Gendre for reading?" Winfield asked. Alanna shook her head. "He didn't want it. He gave it to me. Said it was for me, not him." She smiled wryly. "Halif Saif can be determined when he likes. He says he's happy with the Bloody Hawk. That's our tribe. Some of it didn't make sense, what he said about destiny and quests, so here I am." Winfield rose in answer to a yell for service. "You've come a long way for curiosity, my lady." Alanna grinned at him. "I didn't have anything more important to do." There was another yell. With a voice that shook the rafters, Winfield bellowed, "Just hold on, Joss, you'll be served before you go home." He bowed to Alanna and went to help the barkeep. A maid placed a glass of wine in front of Alanna. "He sent it to you, my lady," the girl explained, pointing to a man by the hearth. "He said I was to tell you redheads must sit together for safety's sake, and he wonders if you might join him when this glass is done." Leaning down, she whispered, "Not meaning any disrespect, but if you don't want him, I do." Alanna looked at the man. He was toasting her. His eyes were blue-green in a tan, pock-marked face. His hair was as copper as hers, clipped short. His nose had met several hard objects. A mustache framed his sensual mouth. His jaw was heavy. He was in excellent fighting condition, broad shoulders, powerful chest, hard waist, heavily muscled limbs. He dressed as she did, in shirt and breeches. She also saw he carried no weapons, not even a dagger. To a knight, this was important. The only men who went weaponless were sorcerers, priests, fools, or those who didn't need them. In a violent world, few did not need to carry some kind of weapon. He shouldn't be attractive, not with a broken nose and his face all scarred. From what, I wonder? Bad skin as a boy, perhaps? But he is